The hard part is doing it. So it's not that it's not doable. Thousands of agents do it. They have a great income. They have a great lifestyle that they've provided for themselves, but you just have to trust the process and do the formula.
Hey there, welcome back to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. I'm your host, Jan Simon, and this season we're raising the bar, diving into the passion, purpose, and defining moments of leaders who don't just aim high, they live there. Big ideas, real stories. Let's get into it. Today's guest knows real estate inside and out, and just as importantly, she knows people. With over 23 years as a full-time licensed real estate agent, she has built her career on knowledge, integrity, and a genuine people-first approach. As a designated broker and co-owner of InstaSold, she not only guides clients through some of life's biggest transactions, she also mentors agents to succeed with confidence and care. A proud Arizona State University graduate with a degree in political science, she blends sharp analytical skills with a deep understanding of community. The sense of connection extends far beyond real estate. Together with her husband, Mike, she helps run the Facebook group Go Gilbert, a private online community of over 120,000 engaged members. From supporting local businesses to sharing neighborhood news and a healthy dose of humor, Go Gilbert has become a true gathering place for the people of Gilbert. Her story is one of expertise, community, and a passion for elevating those around her, both in business and in life. It's a privilege to welcome Ann Schude.
Thank you for the intro.
You're welcome.
Well, one thing I didn't notice, you have a radio voice.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm
very
so
much.
impressed. I mean, I've talked to you many times, and I'm like, look at that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It's funny because I hate my voice.
I feel like everybody does, but I hate my voice too. It's whiny and so nobody. I mean, some people do, but they're on the radio.
Right, and they probably don't listen to themselves. So
right, true.
Okay, so first question I have for you, because I've heard this both directions, and I think I know the answer. Is it Schude or Schude?
Schude.
Schude. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a guy who worked for me. His name is Bogey, B-O-G-E.
Okay.
You say it Bogey, but most people say Boge or Bogue.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's interesting. So anyway, so Schude. So everybody out there is Schude, not Schude.
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer to anything, honestly.
Yeah. I think we're
in sales
at this point. Okay, well, let's jump at this. Tell me about Ann and tell me about growing up.
Holy cow. Okay, so grew up in Mesa, Arizona. Actually, born in Kansas, born in Topeka, Kansas. So I still claim that as like my hometown. Have family still there, go back and visit. But I think I was I was 4 years old when we moved out here.
Oh, wow. So basically.
Yeah, people say, yeah, you're a native. But, gotta stand up for the roots, Kansan roots and all those people. But yes, Mesa, Arizona, not super exciting. Family of 4, older brother, both parents, just had, pretty normal, like nothing crazy.
So were you a jackrabbit, a Toro, a
Mustang?
It's like trying to go through.
I know. I should have let you suffer through that.
Yeah, you should have, because I would have never got there.
Yeah. So Dobson Mustangs. Yep. And
it's
funny. We are coming upon our 30-year high school reunion. Actually, it is this year. But our class president, I don't know if she'll hear this, but she is dropping the ball. So we'll get with it, girl. But no, it's okay.
Yeah. Did they decide not to have one, or is
it's just everybody's busy, and so the planning, and it's something else to add to everyone's plate. So we will. It might be 30+ one. So we'll do it next year. Yeah.
Last minute, throw it together. Hey, we're meeting here if you want to come.
Probably. And honestly, those are the best ones. Meet at a bar, have a drink. And,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, because anything else, I feel, at least the ones that I've been to, it's like anything structured, all you're doing is standing around chatting anyways.
Yeah.
So you may as well just do a happy hour.
Totally. And that's what we'll do. And I guess, well, now that you say that, maybe we can throw it together this year.
There you go. I mean, it's just show up. Let's see. Where's a good place?
Right.
But so grew up in Mesa, brothers and sisters?
One brother, older brother. Yep.
Okay. Is he here locally still?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you play sports? Were you in band? Were you like a piccolo player?
I was a ballerina.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Grew up basically home school and the ballet studio.
Wow.
For sure. Yep.
Wow. So did you ever have aspirations of making it big?
Of course, yes, for sure. I always said either I wanted to be a professional ballerina or a lawyer.
Oh, wow.
And I became neither.
And you're a real estate agent.
Yes, exactly. It's like,
and
wah,
you're
wah,
a real estate agent. So
for sure. But, it was great. And, oh, my gosh, still stay in contact with some of the people I grew up with. But that was what I did for fun. Every summer was spent at the dance studio from, say, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every single day in the summer in a dance studio that did not have air conditioning.
Oof.
And so people complain about it now, but the doors were open and there were some nice oscillating fans. And do you remember that? I'm trying to think of the year. Was I in elementary school or maybe even like 7th grade? And it hit 125. I don't know if you were out here then, but it was like one of those things when I got home and it was in the newspaper, right? Because we all had newspapers delivered. And it was like 125. I was like, I was like literally in the studio for 6 hours that day with no air conditioning.
It was probably 150 in the studio.
Exactly. Yeah. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely different than today's. I mean, my kids would have been like, no.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm not doing anything.
Right.
So, went to Mountain View? No, Dobson.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, I was just quizzing you on Mesa High School. So
I know,
how
right?
do you not know that?
Right. There's a million of them now.
Right.
Okay, so, and then graduated, went to ASU.
Yes.
Did you go to ASU right away, or did you take time?
No, well, actually, I went to MCC.
Okay.
So I wanted to go to ASU right away, but I had a brother who went to NAU and basically flunked out. And so my parents were like, we are not wasting money again. And I'm like, wait, I'm actually good at school. I love school. And so, which is smart. I mean, what's the difference at the end of the day? Except for I didn't get that freshman year, like hanging out in the dorms, partying, all that stuff, like living away from home because I lived at home. So that was a bummer. But you know what? It affected me enough that I told the kids, I'm like, you got to live in the dorms freshman year. You got to go away to school, go away. So I went to MCC first 2 years right after high school and then transferred to ASU.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think there's something about going away to school,
100%.
not to take away from kids that haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, but I feel like you're kind of almost forced to grow up quickly and make stupid decisions really fast.
Get them out now. Yeah, sure.
And so it's crazy. It's like just kind of watching that as but yeah, I went to school, pretty much did the same thing. My freshman year, I drank a lot.
Had a good time.
Yes, I had a very good time.
A very expensive good time.
Yeah. So, and then after MCC, you went to Arizona State. You got a degree in political science, hence the wanting to go into law. Was that what that was? Okay.
For sure. It was one of those things where my parents were, oh my gosh, so gracious to just pay for, my education, so I didn't have any student debt.
Oh, nice.
But then there was the summer before senior year, I got engaged. Or no, I'm sorry. It was a year before that, but I got married the summer before my senior year in college.
Oh, okay.
And
I was just like, you're going to say high school. I was like, oh my God.
I'm like, Mike saw me, had to snatch me up.
Put a ring on it.
Exactly. But so my parents were like, we're done. We're not paying for law school. And then Mike at the time, he didn't really have that. He wasn't into education. He was kind of like how I feel like everyone's moving now. It's like, what? Education? You spend all this money and it was a lot less expensive then. He's like, but then you don't actually make enough money to pay off your student loans. And so he was like, no, that's crazy. And he's like, I don't see you as an attorney. And I'm like, well, I just want to learn. Like, I could have been a lifetime learner. Like, I would get good, just keep going to school because I loved it. Like, everyone sitting around talking, like debating, and just kind of that whole academic vibe. I loved it. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily make you money. And so I couldn't find anyone to pay for my education. So I was like, oh, crap. So then it was like, well, what could I do where you deal with contracts, you deal with law, and it's, well, how about $500 to get a real estate license? Oh, yeah. And that he bought into. Yeah, he's like, yeah, that makes more sense to me. So.
And that was probably, what was that, in the 90s still?
2000, like 2002.
Okay. So it was when the market was starting to kind of take some big strides forward.
Yeah, it was a great market. It was like average days on market for homes was like 60 days. It was just kind of chill. So like there wasn't a big like rush to go look at homes. Everybody wasn't insane. So it was great. And then you kind of hit basically 2004 is when it really took off. And then that's when Mike joined me. So we had always worked together. So even after college, we owned a cell phone business, basically business to business sales. And so we worked together. Before that, his parents actually owned a payphone company. Oh. Which is what brought them from Chicago to here was all the telecom deregulations. And so that was happening in Arizona. So they built like the largest payphone company in Arizona. And so then they sold to a big company. And then Mike and his brother started their own payphone company. And then they obviously saw cell phones at that point.
Right. Yeah.
Sold that, and then the next obvious step was to go to cell phones. So we did that, which was a great business. Yeah. And then we got sued a whole bunch of times because what happened is we did fax advertising. Oh, okay. So it's crazy. And so then literally at night we'd have the fax machine set, and it would blast all these businesses. buy 50 phones, get the phones free, and you only pay, it was like T-Mobile. What was it, T-Mobile? Yeah, $39.99 for unlimited minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Or no, not unlimited, 3,000 minutes.
3,000, yeah.
And so it was crazy. Our phone would just ring, and I'd go. My job was to drive around town and deliver all these cell phones and get paid for it. It was the easiest. But what happened is they passed legislation. There was a statute that was passed that said for unsolicited faxes, it was like $500 a fax. And so we were paying it. So what basically in the mail would be a letter and it would from an attorney, and it was like, okay, here's one fax advertisement, $500. And for us, we weren't paying anything for advertising. So we're like, okay, cost of business.
Yeah.
And then people were saving them. And so we got a stack.
Oh my God.
And $500, we're like, oh crap. So there goes that business model.
Yeah.
And then Mike got into mortgages, and then I got into real estate, and then I started to build a pipeline. Like you said, the market was getting busier, and he's, hey, like, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, mind your business. I don't want to work with you anymore. We've done this since we've been married. And I feel like it's very hard on a marriage to work with your spouse.
Oh, for sure.
So no, but that didn't work. So yeah, we've worked together for the past like 20 years. So
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Stepping back for a second, do you have kids?
Yes.
How many kids do you have, dude? Can I ask you that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm always happy to talk about my kids.
Some people don't like to share. It's like,
oh, no. So that's my biggest achievement for sure in life is the kids. Okay. So we have a 25-year-old son who actually lives here now. He's in Texas National Guard because he was living in Texas, but so now he just commutes once a month. Okay. Works for Sun Construction.
Okay.
And is expecting a baby, him and his wife.
Was this your first?
Yes.
My daughter just had my first.
I know, I saw that. It was
like,
so sweet. You sent me a picture.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. So my daughter-in-law is due in a couple weeks. Nice. So super excited. Baby boy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So, and he is just the sweetest guy. Awesome. Oh my gosh. He's just the sweetest kid. Young man. Mm-hmm. I know. Almost daddy. Almost
kids.
Daddy. I know.
You know, it's so funny. I was just talking to somebody the other day, maybe yesterday or the day before, where I think about when my parents were my age, and I think they were so old. And now I think, I am not old.
No way. Well, we do that all the time when you're looking at show. Like, that's like Mike's favorite things. We'll be watching an old show, like Magnum P.I. Mm-hmm. And he just still looks old to me. Yeah. I mean, he looks very handsome. I always had a thing for Magnum P.I.
Okay.
That mustache.
Yeah.
The mustache. But so Mike, he'll look at it. He's literally like younger than us right now. And I'm like, crazy. Are you serious? Everyone just looks older. But I think I just don't have a fair take on what I actually look like.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, you do look older.
Well, every now and then I'll see a picture of myself and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I'm kind of aging.
And then I know, but I don't know. I don't feel like it though. Internally, I don't feel it. Like I'm like the same, but it is. You get a glimpse, and I'm like, oh, make that Botox appointment. I don't think they had that back then.
No, I'm sure they didn't.
But yeah, so that's Brandon. He's 25, and then my daughter Avery is 22, and we just got back from a weekend in Santa Barbara where her boyfriend proposed.
Oh, how cool!
Yeah, so I have an engaged daughter who, she's a little Mike. Like she's a Spitfire, awesome. But she's. Like I said, I feel like those are my biggest accomplishments, and they're just amazing kids, like who I want to hang out with. Yeah. I just want to spend time with them. And she went to school. She just graduated from college in May out there and ended up staying there, which is crazy. I mean, and they're making it work. It's Santa Barbara, so expensive. But it is expensive. But I tell you what, from when we first went out there 4 years ago, and everything, like going out to eat, gas, everything, now it's like it really feels the same to Arizona. Even rents, like her and her roommate are in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, so they still share rooms. So it's kind of like dorm life extended. It's like $2,500 a month.
Oh my gosh!
So
much different.
That's what I'm saying, and it's crazy. Small. It's 500 square feet or whatnot. But yeah, her and her now fiance are gonna try to stay out there. But they just have the best network of friends. They're just awesome, and he's awesome. So. Yeah, it's super cool. It's fun, right? Yeah. When adult kids is so fun.
Oh yeah.
We have the best time. They're like my besties.
That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So tell me about how you and Mike met.
We met when we were 16.
No kidding.
Yeah. Okay. He likes to tell everyone I was a solid 7. I'm like, what? He's like, but you grew into a butterfly, whatever that means.
Is that? Oh, never mind. I was going to say something really.
Please.
No, that's just
terrible. Is what it is.
Come on,
I know.
A solid 7.
That's what I'm like. Lie to me, buddy.
And you had to wait 3, 4 years, 5 years.
I mean, he didn't tell me then because that probably would have been a no-go. But we were just talking with friends. He's, oh yeah, because I don't know what we were talking about, but he's like, yeah, Anna was a solid 7. I'm like, what? That's just not what you say, but I mean, he's ornery. So,
awesome.
yeah, we were 16. And we actually met. We ran into mutual friends. My best friend, we were at Jump,
Oh,
the outdoor trampoline park,
Yeah.
where they just literally roped some trampolines together. And they
back when they didn't care if we broke our arm.
No, I mean, it was metal, like
Yeah.
piping all around it. No nets, no nothing. And so they had recognized each other that they actually went to kindergarten together.
Oh, no
Which
kidding.
is kind of crazy. Yeah. And so then he saw one of our other friends and started dating one of our other friends. And then they didn't last or whatever. And so then Jen, my friend, was like, it was kind of the joke because she was like, Anne, you like money. Mike has money. Like, you guys should. Well, at the
so
time,
funny.
he really didn't have any money, but you know how it is,
Oh, yeah.
like, gossip and everything. But he drove an Infiniti G20.
Oh, so he had a nice car.
He had a nice car, and so I thought, but that was it. But oh my gosh, it's so funny. So anyway, yeah, we just started dating, and so when I actually met him was at Teen Mass at St. Tim's.
Okay.
Because it was on Sunday night, and all of the high schools, I guess it was Mesa, Corona, McClintock, maybe Marcos, like everybody just kind of swarmed the church, and it was just like where everybody met everybody. So it was actually a great time. And so then we were at a party, and he knew I was going to be there, and he was like, didn't want to miss it. So that morning, and that was the first time I ever saw him face to face. That morning, he had his wisdom teeth taken out.
Oh God.
And so but he didn't want to miss the party. So he literally shows up to me. It was completely swollen. And he's, hi, I'm Mark Schude. I normally don't look like this. And I'm like, what a tool.
Who is this guy?
I was like, okay, bye. And so, but then after that, Jen had convinced us, I really think you guys would hit it off. You should go on a date. So I remember I didn't remember what he looked like, and I didn't even know what he actually looked like. And so I remember looking out the people, my house at the time, and I looked, and I was like, because I told my parents and my brother, I'm like, hey, don't make fun of me. I don't even know what this guy looks like. I'm just going on a date with him, whatever. And so I just remember looking through the people, and I was like, oh, he's cute.
Oh,
I was thinking higher than a 7, but I was like, he's clearly an 8.
Yeah.
So no, and then after that, yeah, we just started dating, and then that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've been together then since you were 16?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Kind of grew up together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so when you graduated, when you got married the year before you graduated college.
Yes.
And then your son was born in that time.
He was born, let's see, so we were engaged at 20, married at 21, and then I had him at 23.
Okay.
And
so
then
pretty
Avery
quick.
at 26.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And you really kind of, for the most part, stepped straight into real estate.
This episode of Above and Beyond is brought to you by the amazing sponsors who help bring this show to life. A heartfelt thank you to Above Par Network, elevating connections and creating impact. Foundation Insurance Services, protecting what matters most with confidence and care. Meritum Credit Card Processing, empowering businesses through expert consulting and unwavering support. And Rocks and Calligraphy, bringing beauty and personal flair to every handwritten detail. We're proud to partner with these outstanding businesses who share our passion for excellence. For more about our sponsors and exclusive podcast content, visit abovebeyondpodcast.com.
Yeah, so after kind of those, so after college, then we had the cell phone business, or after college, he had the payphone business, crazy, and then cell phone business, then had Brandon, and then stayed home, and then went back to get my real estate license,
Okay.
or back to school.
And when you got your real estate license, was it were you really kind of, okay, I'm going to go do residential real estate? Were you thinking property management? I mean, did you have an idea of what you wanted to do
Yeah,
with it when
I
you got it?
did the same thing. Well, aside from wanting to do something legal with contracts and everything, and what every agent says, and every agent I mean that hasn't gone to real estate school, it's like, why do you want to be a realtor? Well, I like looking at houses. And my answer to that is that gets old real quick. But
can imagine.
oh my gosh. And I guess maybe not for some, but for most, it's that's not even really part of it anymore. But so then I got my license and then started working under another agent as learning, as a selling assistant, which is super important. Then because in real estate school, they don't teach you what you need to know, right?
Yeah.
It's just to pass the test.
Yeah.
And so after that, a lot of agents will just kind of get set free and run loose and not always in the best interest of anybody, whether it's a cross sale agent or your clients.
No
So
idea.
that was the best thing that I did. And then I really wanted to do it because I thought I could do it part-time. I was like, what am I going to do? I want to be around my kids. I want to have a flexible schedule. And so I was like, you know what, if I sell a house or or two here and there, like that's way better than any part-time job, and it's super flexible. But then once Mike got involved and it was like our sole income was real estate, things changed. He was like, get out. Yeah, he's get on the phone, get out there, show this out, show that. I'm like, this did not go how I expected.
Not how I expected.
Not how I expected. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's been great and super stressful. Like I can't imagine a more, maybe you could talk about that, but more stressful career. But that's why I wanted to be a broker. I wanted to own our own business so I could really pour into other agents. Because I didn't, in real estate, it can be very lonely.
Yeah.
You're really on your own. And even though you, quote unquote, work with people at the same brokerage, everyone's out for their own. And so I never had anyone going, it's okay. Like, tell me about that transaction. Like, it's fine. I've seen this before. Just that reassurance. Hey, let's talk through it. That kind of thing. I never had that from anyone. And especially that is not Mike's, wheelhouse either. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I mess this up? He'd be like, oh my gosh, did you? So I never had someone to be like, it's fine. Everything's fixable. You're going to be okay. And so that was another reason for me I want to just, honestly, at the end of the day, I just want to love on people because I was really stressed out for most of my life. And I don't want that for anybody. And I don't think they have to be. So
that's awesome.
Because you are and the income earning, it's exponential. Really, it's how much, the harder you work, the better. So I don't want to say that it was all just stress.
Yeah.
I mean, it afforded us, a pretty good lifestyle and still flexible, working all the time. But if you could technically get away.
Yeah.
But that's another thing too with the brokerage is I want to support agents that, not on our team, but just like on the within the brokerage who are technically solo agents who are out of town. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do you need? Yeah. What can I do? Because that was another horrible feeling. I want to go out of town, but I don't have anyone to help me.
Yeah.
It's a horrible feeling. It's a lonely feeling for sure.
If you could rewind now to that early 20-something when you're just getting into real estate, is there anything you'd tell yourself or prepare yourself for that maybe kicked you in the teeth or that you're now going, God, if I knew that, it would have been a much easier road?
In real estate?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It would have been just kind of how I'm saying, like the team thing would have been great. I would have formed a team right away. I shouldn't say right away. As a team leader, I think that there's a lot of people out there who will form a team right away, but they have no real estate experience.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't suggest that. But after the first, few years that I, kind of get your feet wet, you learn, you can do a transaction, you have a good knowledge, you have a good pipeline coming in. I think I really would have just formed some sort of team, even to starting off with just a transaction coordinator. But at the time, I was like, no, I don't want to pay someone. I just want to keep it all to myself, right? And that's one thing that we see with agents too, is that they're not wanting to invest in their business. They just want it transactional. They look at each transaction and it's like, okay, what's the commission or the compensation I'm getting? And I just want to keep it all.
Yeah.
They're not thinking like bigger picture. They're not thinking long term. So that was one thing for sure I would have done. And I mean, we didn't start a team. It was just Mike and I till I want to say probably 2017.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I think it just would have helped. It would have helped our relationship better because it wasn't just me and Mike and, arguing back and forth. And it's nice when you have other personalities in the mix. So that was one thing for sure I wish I would have done. Maybe after like 3 years in the business, it was just, or a transaction coordinator right away, but then started to grow and have a team of people around because I'm a people person. And it just would have been nice to have the support.
Yeah.
And
when you say a team, what does that look like? I mean, how many people is that? You say a transaction coordinator.
Yeah.
So obviously it's back end administrative type stuff.
For sure. Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, it kind of can look like anything. I've seen it upside downs and backwards. And that's why I think that it took us so long to build a team. So we want to do it the right way, but there's only a right way for you, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you see some teams where they've got 25 people on their team. So different than a brokerage. And that's not something that I ever really wanted to do, it felt a little more like babysitting because of those 25 people, not all 25 people are out there selling.
Yeah.
So then you have, probably only 20% are selling. So then you have the rest. You're like, oh, what do I do with you? Yeah. But for our team now, it's a transaction coordinator. We have 2 sales agents and we have 2 admin people right now. But some of that carries over to the Go Gilbert side because that's another kind of full-time business in itself for sure.
I know doing the podcast and some of the things that I've been trying to get going with the podcast. I just need like someone who can sit down and do this stuff.
Oh, I know.
There's so much stuff
And
to do.
and that's it's kind of exciting, right?
Yeah.
When there's a lot to do, you're not sitting back like I have nothing to do.
Right.
So that's what I tell myself when I get overwhelmed. I'm like, you know what? Be grateful, be thankful that you have so many things to do. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's plenty of people that don't know what to do or don't really have anything to do. So that's exciting to be a little overwhelmed, I think. But that's kind of what our team looks like right now. And right now and actually we have 3 agents on our team. I take that back because we just hired someone new.
Oh, nice.
But we're really focused on building the brokerage and having like other teams come in with their team structure and then solo agents come in and building kind of the InstaSold brand right now. But like I said, there's all different types of teams. There's teams that, give leads to their agents. There's teams that don't give leads, but they can teach them how to lead gen on their own. So all different. There's some teams where they're like, okay, you know what? You're at the office 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Yeah, that's a long time. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and you're just on the phones, or 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. you're on the phone. So I always tell agents, you just have to figure out what works for you and how you got to do something. And like the more conversations you have, that's lead gen, right?
Yeah.
And figure out how you want to have those conversations. If it's on the phone, it's in person, it's open houses, and just feel like there's a good fit, just like anything else. There's so many different teams, so many different brokerages. You just have to know what works for you.
Yeah.
And what you think will make you successful for sure.
Yeah. Was there a time, and we could probably talk about the crash, which I'm sure impacted the business.
Yeah.
But was there a time at which you went, God, I don't think I want to do this. I don't think I'm made to do this.
Oh, sure. I mean, multiple times
Yeah.
for sure. There was one time I actually took a step back and was just feeling really burnt out and went to work for my father-in-law who, he was the one who had the payphone business and then sold that, retired. Well, this will just tell you, payphones are great. I want to say they retired at like 36.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was good for them. Yes,
No
for
kidding.
sure.
Wow.
But it was definitely before 40. And so he retired and then really young to retire, kind of get bored. And so then he started an ATM business.
Okay.
So basically when you go to like bars or restaurants and they have the private ATM companies. So yeah, I was at a point, I'm trying to think of the year, the kids were in elementary school and I was like, hey, like I need something else. And and it's hard to say. A lot of that, maybe real estate, but a lot of that was working with my husband. I mean, we never, ever did we get a break, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so that was really hard. And then, he naturally became the boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was like, you're not going to tell me what to do, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't necessarily blame it all on just being in real estate.
Yeah.
Because I think if he was doing something else, then I could be like, I'm feeling burnout. I'm not going to push as hard as maybe I could or should and take a step back. But this was just really like, I would just wanted to go to somewhere else all day. And then I wanted to come home and be like, oh my gosh, I missed you. Like, how was your day? Tell me about your day.
Yeah.
Because we never had that. And so that's what, I did. And then it was actually a really fun job. But then I think it was just enough of a break to be like, okay, well, real estate's, I like working for myself. And I think it was good for Mike too, to be like, I don't think I appreciated having you and working together and collaborating every day. And so, we just set some more like boundaries and guidelines. Okay, after 7:00, real estate does not come out of your mouth.
Yeah, right.
Things
We're
like
a couple, married couple,
Yeah,
husband, wife,
first.
not business partners.
Exactly. You have to. And honestly, it kind of makes sense. I can't tell you how many like real estate couples end up, they end up getting divorced and you could see it. Like that's a lot. So, but that was a time because I actually took a step back. I want to say for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And then,
Okay.
But then
I could see that being just really trying, I guess, on a relationship, especially if you've got one person who's really a hard driver.
Yeah, type A person.
Yeah, and then you have somebody who, seemingly can play the type A part,
Right.
but is more.
Yeah, I play one during the day.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. More relational and is
For sure.
And I like me. If Christine and I were working together, she is probably more of the. I don't know if it's a type A or I just have all this stuff to get done. I got to get it done. It's got to be done now. Right?
Yes.
And I've learned over time that I got stuff to do, but
It'll be there.
it'll still be there when I get up tomorrow,
Yeah,
and I can just do it then. What fires do I have to put out right now? And
Right.
then so there's that piece of it. But I could see us really clashing hard, and some people ask, well, would Christine ever come work with you? I was like, I don't think I want her to.
Yeah.
And not because I wouldn't want to be with her or work
Right.
with her, but because I think it would not be a good situation.
Well, if you can avoid it. Well, and I guess the one nice thing was, vacations, it's not like, well, can you get off this week? Like, I'll see if I can get off this week. I mean, it's like, okay, like we're going.
gonna
So
go.
that was nice. But But there again, even though we're both technically off, we're not off.
Yeah.
We're still talking about real estate. Like I'm trying to like relax, and then he's going, "Oh my gosh, did you call this person?" Like even on vacation, and I get it. Like he gets it. Like it's important. Like bringing money home is important.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he's definitely got that like understanding of. He always had this thing where it was, I guess Katie Couric had it, but it was, and I can't remember the name. It's some phobia where you constantly think you're going to be homeless.
Oh.
It's actually a phobia, which is crazy. And that was one thing we had to change. So he used to take care of the bills and all of the money. And so to the point, like I would go to Fry's or whatnot. And I mean, I guess he probably wouldn't say so much about Fry's, but anywhere, but
yeah,
he'd get an
spend
alert.
money, yeah.
And I mean, he was like on my butt, like, oh my gosh, what'd you buy? What'd you buy?
Kidding.
So it got so bad, and he was just like, okay, from now on, like, you handle the bills. Clearly, I can't handle the bills because it's like messing with my brain.
Yeah.
And so then I did. He's like, just let me know if there's a problem. Let me know if I got to pack my crap.
Just
And
make sure I get a debit card with a little bit of money in it.
Exactly. But I mean, I appreciated that because he saw like where that was going, which wasn't good. But yeah, so for him, it makes sense why he's such a driver. And hey, we never know, and you don't. In obviously real estate, you don't know where the next check is coming. So that was one thing that we kind of had to work out. But he's chilling out a little bit.
Yeah,
so that's good.
That's awesome. That's when I talk to people, other realtors, and I was having a conversation a few months ago with a realtor friend who had been having a conversation with an individual that was trying to decide if they wanted to go into real estate or some other type of sales.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Me personally, I couldn't handle real estate because I don't know that I have the phobia that Mike's got, but there's something there because I've walked through a very dark time in my life where that happened, where it's like almost PTSD. And so selling a house, that whole transactional piece where it's okay, I sold it. Great. That's awesome. Celebrate for 3 seconds. Now what's next?
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah.
What I do is with the insurance is, you get the residuals. So you build a book of business and then there's,
okay, that makes sense.
You have income. So even if I don't sell something today, there's still going to be some income,
right.
know? So
well, that's nice.
Yeah. So so I think about real estate and I think, this is just a hard business.
Yeah.
From an emotional perspective for me.
For sure.
Imagine, so.
For sure. And I mean, and you deal with, customers and clients. It's always just trying to figure out those. That's always puts a wrench in it. But, we always go through, you'll go through a few transactions and you're like, oh my gosh, I have the best job ever. Everyone's just cool and everything's going how it is. And then it's phases, right? And then you go through like the next 3 deals and you're like, what is going on? I quit.
You can't do anything right.
Oh, I know. And you just get the craziest people are like, why did I ever sign up for this?
Have you had periods of time where it just seems like it just dried up? Like you haven't had any flow of, you had the pipe.
Yeah, the pipeline coming in. So there are times, and it's interesting because now that we're teaching agents, kind of that sometimes that does happen, and you just plan accordingly. But it's one of those things where, okay, so like 23 years, I feel like just the past couple of years, Mike has been like, and I love this. He's not here to defend himself, and that's you should be here. But he would be like, oh my gosh, the phone's not ringing, and so I'd have to say, and clearly at the beginning we didn't know if that was normal or not, and so I'd have to tell him like, hey, like this is your chance, like let's go on vacation, let's do something, like let's enjoy it, that we have a little downtime. But for him it was just like, okay, the sky's falling, we'll never sell another house again. And I'm like, so now I'm like, okay, and we've, like you said, you mentioned like the crash and all that stuff, I'm like, we've been through some crazy markets, and guess what, like
you're still
here.
Yeah,
people still need to buy and sell houses. And so he's gotten a lot better, but that's something that I feel like I can kind of relay to agents, and on our team, that's what I'll say. It's one of those things you have to find contentment in anything you do. So be happy when it's busy and be happy when it's slow, and just make it work for you for sure.
Yeah. I don't know what book it came from, but I have it written on my whiteboard in my office at the house. It just says, focus on the process.
Yeah.
The outcome will take care of itself.
100%.
And it's one of those things because when I focus on the money aspect of things or closing a deal, it just runs from me.
Right.
I can't seem to do anything right. Can't close
Right.
it. Even today, and I wasn't focused on it, but I have a client that I've been working on for, a couple months probably. And she told me today that they decided to go a different direction, that I had a much better rate than what they had, but because of whatever.
Politics?
No, it wasn't politics. No.
I was like, do I know where this is going?
No. She just basically they had part of their package with another carrier that we have, but I didn't go to them for the line of business that we needed. And so she's like, we just wanted to package it all together. But then she says, well, if you want to call back in February, you can take a look at it. I'm like, okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But the fact that I fought as hard as I did to get the premium where it was, and
Right.
then it's like, and you're just standing there like you can't do anything about it. But when I focus on the money aspect of the thing, and then I allow it to
Kind of like,
mess with my mood.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, true. Yeah.
And rather
Your
than
state of
say,
mind, yeah.
okay, yeah, you know what? I just need to talk to more people. I got to go find somebody else to talk to.
Well, and that's what I would think I was telling you. This is one thing, and I love like listening to other people and just kind of taking bits and pieces, and it's like the rip and duplicate, right?
Yeah.
And to see what they're doing, and listening to people's advice for sure. And I always say, I'm so coachable. Just tell me,
Yeah.
I'll do it. But the agent that I started working for, I mean, I think, yes, there was a deal. He had something probably similar to what you're saying on the real estate side where he didn't get the listing or whatnot. And he said, well, and I think someone had taught him, next. Don't dwell on it. Don't think about it, and just next. And right? Yeah, more conversations. Just talk to more people. And I know a lot of agents, even on our team, like if they lose a listing or something, they like stalk that listing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's listed. Okay, it's still on the market. Okay. I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, why do you do that? Just go on to the next. And of course, never burn any bridges, because especially in this market, there's a great chance it's going to come back to you.
Well, and that's the thing, like with these clients, you never know what it is,
Yeah.
right? There's so many different extemporaneous circumstances that could change whatever.
Right.
And you just hope, for me anyways, I hope that whatever the decision was that they made to go away from me
Yeah.
burns in their face.
Yeah. Well, you have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because that keeps you sane.
Right, exactly. It's
Wishing bad things on other people.
They will call me later, and
Yeah.
we'll work through this,
Yes. Well, yeah.
and I'll take the high road every single time.
100%.
Well,
and that's why, it's great to have, and that's another thing for having like a team. It's like, okay, like let's huddle and like, let's get it all out. Right. Yeah. Say all those nasty things about this bird. No.
Yeah.
And then just get out of your system. And then we've all been there. We can all relate, and it sucks really bad. But at the end of the day, like, you be the better person, because guaranteed, I mean, it'll come back to you. Like an agent like lost a listing. It wasn't ever our listing to begin with. It was with a different broker, but they weren't happy with that broker, and their listing was expiring. And so he had said, like, okay, I want you to take it over when it expires. So we did a listing agreement to start when it expired. Well, it expired, and they got an offer like the day before it expired that they were going to work with. And it's like, or I'm sorry. So the offer they got, I think it was actually after the original listing expired. So it could have been ours, but it's like, that it was really procured during that time.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're not going to go after that or whatnot. And it turned out great, because that seller gave us a referral that turned into 2 more listings.
Oh.
So it just, you just have to do the right thing, and the people first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Care about people first. And at the end of the day, like, I like to sleep at night. I'm not going to go after someone for something. It doesn't really make any sense. Now, if there is something like really bad or something like that, of course, it would stand up for our agents. But
Right.
you kind of have to weigh the pros and the cons and what that's going to look like. But at the end of the day, if you just do what you're supposed to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say one policy, one house is not going to make
policy.
or break. Right?
Yeah, right. One policy.
Yeah, one policy. It's not going to make or break.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you start, and I don't understand how compensation work. I know it just changed in your industry and whatnot as far as disclosures go. But with regards to, trying to help an agent, a street agent, we'll call it, understand that, you looking at that, $10,000, $20,000 is a lot of money, right? But really, truly, that if you take the high road on that sale, we'll call it, even if you lose the sale, it could lead to 2, 3, 5, 10 more things.
100%. And just like what you're saying, when you focus on the sale, and and that's one thing with agents too, because especially if you're not selling a lot of homes, and you think of if you have if you're a potential like $10,000 check or something that you think that that you want, you have to be careful, right? If you're thinking about the money, because then you're not probably putting your client first. If that's the first thing that pops in your head, are you really looking out for your client's best interest?
Right.
Maybe not. So but you could see how people could go there, but we always just say no. And until until a home records, then you can be excited about that. But never for a minute think that you deserve anything, you're entitled to anything. No, because anything could happen. So don't be married to the outcome for sure. And don't think of the money about the money. Be pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
If you get paid.
Yeah, exactly. Be excited when the money gets in the bank.
Exactly.
Are you guys mostly just Southeast Valley?
Not really. Okay. We specialize probably in the Southeast Valley, but we work all over. We have an agent that actually specializes as well in Lake Havasu.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I do a decent amount in the White Mountains just because we have a place up there. And then, I started off doing all over. Man, if there was a lead that wanted a house in, Buckeye, Avondale, I would hop in my car so fast, which not a lot of agents do.
Yeah.
And I think, as time goes on and you get busier, so then you can be a little more, selective, I guess is the right word. But no, we have agents that will go all over for sure.
Do you have any crazy experiences with either a buyer, a seller, or a house?
Many. My gosh. I'm trying to think of. Okay, so speaking of like when the market had its downturn, so many, but this one was kind of gross. And so it was a house. So back when the market had the downturn, like the only listings to sell were short sales or bank owned. I really can't tell you within like a 2 to 3 year time period if there was like a normal resale traditional transaction where there was a buyer and a seller. So it was all bank owned, and no one had the air conditioning on. It was disgusting. No one had the air conditioning on. So it was 150, 160 in these houses. Oh my gosh. And so I remember taking these people out. And back then, we all rode together. Like, I feel like it was like, oh, you want to, I'll pick you up at your hotel. Like now for I think since COVID, really, no one got in anyone's car, and it's not bad. Like, I don't actually hate it.
Yeah.
And so I had these people in my car, and it was hot. So 160 degrees or whatnot. And I mean, shame on me that I guess I didn't have a cooler in my car, but a cooler full of water bottles. So it was this house. It had been like vacant. It was just nasty. You just picture like a foreclosure with dirt everywhere. Like you didn't even want to walk in there. So for some reason, I happened to look on like the kitchen counter, and there was like a water bottle. But when a water bottle has been there for a really long time, like condensation had built up, and it just for a long time. Well, so we're walking around the house, and that was there right when we walked in. I look over, and the client had picked it up and started drinking out of it. I was like, oh my gosh, did this really happen? I'm like, dude, like I would have stopped. I mean, I don't even know. It was like the grossest thing. I couldn't even believe that happened. Oh my
disgusting.
Gosh. But plenty of stories where people have fallen downstairs. There was this one where Mike has speaking of phobias, extreme like fear of spiders.
Oh.
And so he back then was showing he really just does like we don't let him work with clients anymore. Like he's all doing like he's behind the scenes. And his patience is not like, ours. Yeah. And so we still actually have this client like years and years. I'm shocked. But he was walking through the front door, and there were spider webs all over, and he freaked out, ran into the bathroom, ripped his shirt off, starts and she was like, "Are you okay?" Screaming like bloody murder, and she's, "Oh my gosh."
That's too funny.
Yeah, but
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me about Go Gilbert. When did that come into play? I mean, what kind of sparked that? Was that your idea? Was that somebody else's?
Depends on who you talk to. But so, it was 2017 is when that came about. We had heard of like Chandler, like community Facebook groups. There was an agent in our old office who started one, and it was really interesting, and I liked going on there. I'm like, this is a great idea because you go out in the community, find out what's new, what a great resource for people. And I'm like, I hadn't heard of one for Gilbert. I'm like, what? Gilbert's way better than Chandler. Like, why is no one talking about Gilbert? And also it was a way to be creative. So that's one thing that I feel like we kind of lost when we started selling homes. Mike was on the phones, like cold calling, like religiously 8 to 12. And so you kind of get burnt out, and he's actually really creative, loves marketing, loves all of that stuff. I want to be creative, and that's when we started doing videos and everything like that. And so we envisioned it as a lead lever too. It's a way to kind of like what you're saying, like I want to have conversations. I don't want to feel like that cheesy sales guy. Like, hey, let me talk to you about insurance. Yeah. And then, people are like, what? Like
exactly.
Same thing with real estate. Like, oh, it's just another realtor. Like, it's like, wait, no. I mean, I want to like have fun. Like, let's do things. Let's get involved in the community.
Yeah.
It's just a way to have more conversations.
Yeah.
Rather than some of the other less fun things. And so, we just started going around to different businesses. and we're trying to make ourselves stand out. And so I thought, well, why don't I like dress up in like costumes? And I'm like, because otherwise, am I just going to go to a business like, oh, hey, here's a new ice cream shop? And so the first video we did it was crazy. In Gilbert, I don't remember, like 2017, there was a chicken place on like every corner.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Slim Chickens, Cane's. I don't know, probably don't.
Chick-fil-A. And
Yeah,
they
were on every
out of
single.
nowhere.
Yeah, and I was like, what's the deal with all these chicken places? So I dressed up as a chicken and just went to businesses and took a video of their business and posted it. Yeah, went to like an ice cream place, dressed up as a polar bear. We went to a steak place. I actually got Mike to dress up. He was Fred and Wilma from the Flintstones. So it was super fun. But the thing that we didn't really expect is that was our like least productive year in real estate.
Really?
Yeah, because we were so focused on content that we weren't necessarily having real estate conversations. We're like, hey, we want to come do a video, and businesses are like, that's awesome, thanks. You know, we weren't saying, hey, by the way, we're in real estate, we're just doing this for fun. So if you know anyone, we just love the opportunity, that kind of thing. So we poured so much into Gilbert that our real estate business was not
kind of tanked.
It kind of it was
wow. Interesting.
So that was our when you asked about ebbs and flows, that was definitely. But then that lasted, I want to say like a good solid 6 months. And then after that, like the following year, we started like amping up again. So it was good. I probably didn't time manage the best, but we had a good time. And and even to this day, it's still fun to talk to people. And I'm like, I love finding out about other businesses. And one of my favorite things was, during COVID or whatnot, we did, it's like StreamYard or something. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like, so basically it's kind of like a podcast, but you're just Zooming. It's like a fancy Zoom or whatnot. And so that was hard, and my heart broke for these small businesses. So I was like, well, you know what? We have a platform, and back then it was much smaller, but it was like, I'll do anything to see people in business succeed or actually last through this time. So like every day we did an interview with a small business. Hey, how can we support you? And a lot of them was like, some restaurants were like, hey, buy our t-shirts, do this. And so that was one thing I was really grateful that we'd started it to at least try and get the word out and kind of save these businesses from going under during, a time that they had no control over. So it's been fun, but there again, it's just another opportunity to have more conversations and do some fun things in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like lately it seems like the control has gotten better. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's like there was some area in there where it just got really lively with some of the stuff that was getting kicked around and things. And I can only imagine. Yeah. Got to be pulling his hair out.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So it really ebbs and flows with whatever's going on in the world. So from, all of so obviously like COVID, like all the BLM, like all the protests, all the riots when those are going on. So it definitely gets hot and heavy, like, and we're going through that now with, politics and stuff. And it's kind of a fine line because, you want to be relevant. You want to have a community space where people can talk, but anything turns into politics, right? And that's a rule, no politics. But it's like when there's local things happening, like, then we get in this weird situation where it's like, well, you don't want to be like censoring people or whatnot.
Right.
But then I say, it's a private group, and so we can kind of control the content, which is why it's a private group.
Right.
I don't control the internet. I don't control Facebook.
Right.
But you want to have those discussions, but sometimes it just, we've gotten called every name in the book and just private messages and accusing us of having one like political affiliation. We're like, actually, you're completely wrong. And, it's just, oh my gosh. So we try our best to keep it lively. And, sometimes, we'll feel a little ornery and I'm like, I don't know if that should go through, but sometimes it gets boring.
Yeah.
So you have to let some fun things through.
It's crazy. I've had a couple people reach out to me about the podcast and say, hey, I've got somebody who should be on.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, who? And they'll tell me, and I'm like, I would love to sit down and have a conversation with that person. I'd love to get to know that person much better.
Yes.
But it's a political figure.
Yeah.
And it would be a polarizing situation. For me,
it's hard in business.
Yeah. For me, it's like, I would love to sit down and talk to anybody. And I've had different characters. I say character, different people on this.
Personalities.
Different personalities on this podcast. And I would assume if we go down the road of some conversations, we don't agree on things, right? But we're able to have that conversation, and we'll call it the discourse conversation, to be able to agree to disagree or, what have you. I don't know. I have some very
Spit it out.
strong feelings about certain things.
Sure.
but I want to understand why somebody would think differently.
Right.
And if I say something adverse, it's not that I don't like you as a person. It's, well, maybe that doesn't make sense to me and whatnot. And I can only imagine with the amount of people in town and some of the things that have gone on, and especially like when you start talking about, I mean, obviously I sit on the planning commission for the town, so going through the whole, ranch situation and different things that were going on there, and some of the stuff that you start seeing thrown out, it's like people don't know, and they don't understand, nor do they want to. They just want to throw out what they believe. Or they
and they want to throw out what they believe, and they want to claim to be an expert.
Yeah.
When it's, what are you even like referring to? Is it someone said something?
Right.
So it's just having discernment, right? But I think it takes work to do the research, right? So you're going to look at some sort of soundbite, or you're going to see one of your friends said, and you're like, oh yeah, like that's wrong. And so then it becomes fact and it becomes truth, which, but if you're going to have such a strong opinion on something, I feel like you should probably do your homework on that, right?
Dig deeper.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't have, and I understand a lot of people maybe don't have a strong opinion on it, and they're like, okay, well, I mean, this is what someone said or whatnot, but maybe they don't dig deeper. But it's just that people have these like hard, I mean, what we're talking about is really so relevant to what's going on in the world today. Like, how do we just have like conversations? Like, why is it just because I disagree with you, you shouldn't take it as a jab at you.
No.
It has nothing to do with you. Like, because you have your own life experiences and the way you feel, something happened in your childhood, something happened at work or whatnot. So I'm just trying to understand. So when I ask questions, I'm not discounting your experiences. I'm just trying to understand. And, at the end of the day, it may not change my mind, but that's okay. But I don't know when it happened, but it definitely happened. Maybe it was 2018. I'm not even sure when it happened, but something happened where people cannot have a conversation and understand where someone else is coming from, nor they care. It's they take it personally.
Yeah.
Everyone's so fragile.
Yeah.
It's so fragile. It's a fragility, and it's like the victimhood.
Yep.
And it's like, no, let's talk. And so I don't know and I hope we can get it back one day. I don't think we're necessarily there right now.
No.
Hopefully, in light of situations, like we can just talk. Like it's just odd to me. So
and you're always going to have the fringes.
Yeah.
Right? The outliers.
It almost seems like that's all there is.
But it almost seems like you are either one way or the other. And, I think the majority of people sit in the middle, but it's a silent majority.
Right.
Right. And then you get the loud voices on either side, and they just scream and yell, and they don't say things to want to understand. They say things to get their point across.
But I think that's almost a setup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've been kind of indoctrinated that way, right? Because you look at like the leaders of the country. Oh my gosh, like so many times you hear like a senatorial committee meeting or whatever, and those are our leaders. Those are who are representing us. They are screaming at each other. Yeah. They are screaming at each other. They're throwing things, and it's, wait a minute. Like, I sent you there. I elected you there to have a conversation.
Talk.
Right. But it's not. It's so I think that's what we're seeing, and sadly we're following in suit. And when you have all that disagreement on two different sides, then we're focused on that.
Yeah.
We're not focused on what is the government actually doing.
Really happening.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a huge distraction.
Really.
And that's when you see people like stand up for the government and, on one way. And I mean, I saw it probably earlier, but it's, wait a minute. It is really kind of us against them at this point. But when we're not united and we can't have discussions with each other, we can't agree on the fact that, you know what, the government isn't necessarily like looking out for us. Like, we should band together. Like, and that was like people standing up for kind of that elitist mentality. I'm like, dude, I know what you do. For 1 minute, do you think that they have your best interest? Like, I want to believe that. Give me some sort of fact that shows that, someone in Washington, D.C. cares about Ann Schude.
Right.
I would love to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And granted, they would probably call me Ann Schude anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly.
They're not, but I would love to see that. But it's a huge distraction. But if we kind of on a mutual front could just agree that, we have our neighbor's best interest, people in the community, right? We should be looking out for each other.
Yep.
Not these people in the community are like, oh, well, obviously someone who is elected and they know way more than us, and they're going to take care of what?
Know nothing.
Yes, teach me. I want to live in that world. So I'm willing to listen, but so far I just haven't seen it. So
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Did at any point in, we'll say, the life of Go Gilbert, have you gotten where you're like, okay, Mike, just shut it down?
Not me. Mike has said.
Oh, has he?
I want to
Said
shut
it
it
to you?
down. Yes, because he deals with all the, like, with the DMs or whatever. I just look at them. I'm like, oh, they're crazy, and I move on.
Yeah.
But he and granted, you can't just ignore. I get that. But yeah, just he'll take care of it, and he does like a phenomenal job. I feel like of trying to turn down the temperature when people are really upset. And you know what? And he's not afraid to, I mean, like, take people off the page. Like, it's like, you know what? No, you're saying hateful things.
Yeah.
You're bullying. You're all that. It's just, we'll just take you off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think many times, because it really is a 20, because it is a closed group, so every member has to be approved. You know, we have people that go back and want to make sure it's not a bot, want to make sure it's, you know, not someone from another country, like doing a scam, anything like that. Because I think it hurts. Well, for sure, it hurts the integrity of the group.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, so, and posts. So posts have to be approved. So for sure, like Mike definitely deals with like the headache of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so for sure he does.
Do either of your kids have any desire to get into real estate or the social media aspect of what you're doing?
It's interesting. I don't know about the social media. I mean, they'll call or text like, "Did you see what so and so said?" And I'm like, "Hey, I thought you weren't on Facebook," because they're like younger. But so they kind of get a kick out of it.
I was told if you want to be relevant, you need to be on TikTok.
Yes.
Facebook and Instagram is old people.
Well, for sure. But I mean, Instagram may be middle aged. I don't know. But no, so it's interesting. So my daughter graduated. So Brandon, he's mentioned it, but man, it's just, I don't think it's his personality type. He's so smart. He's such an analytical thinker, like more like project management. I mean, I think he would do phenomenal in intelligence.
Wow.
He's just, and that actually was his degree. So I feel like we maybe make it look easy, because I think that we're like, oh yeah, we're going to go sell a house, right? And we work for ourselves. But knowing his personality, I don't think he would love it. So we never really encouraged it. And then Avery, it's funny. So she's a business econ major, and she probably would do phenomenal. She's actually working in property management in Santa Barbara.
Oh, wow.
A huge market for property management. I don't even know how many like Airbnbs or just rentals in general. She does a lot of like student housing, things like that. So she likes it. She's in property management, something that we wanted to get into. But the hard thing about property management is it never goes well. Like if you look at property management companies, I mean, if you see a property management company with a 3-star, like average of 3 stars, you're like, they're killing it. But in real estate, we'd be devastated.
Yeah.
Like, no way. You know, we give 5-star service. So she's had to, you know, go back and forth with the tenant, you know, threatening to sue. Someone, you know, was unhappy about this or that. And so she's getting probably like the worst of it right now, but she's a little ornery. So I think that kind of fuels her, I think. So
Yeah.
I think she for sure would be pretty great. And her fiance, now he works in accounting for property management. So it's just kind of, it makes sense being in that area, but it's just kind of funny that, and then I'm thinking, wow, for $500, speaking of I could have got your real estate license.
Yeah.
Don't want to talk about the private school education that you got in California. So
Yeah.
But
sure.
the experience, that's what I tell. The experience was worth it, right?
Right.
And you met your future husband.
There you go.
So I think I'm going to go after him for the money.
There you go. That's funny. How do you define success?
Success, for me personally, and I think that everybody probably has a different definition of success. But my definition of success would be kind of when we're in a place where we can have passive income, like the freedom to have a business that kind of runs itself, if that makes sense, and having people work with us that are super uber talented, that can run, you know, our businesses, I guess, better than we would, if that makes sense. So to me, if we get to that point, when we get to that point, I'll feel completely successful, just to have kind of trained people up, and not only that, but to have those people that are working for us, not only talented but successful from a monetary standpoint, where they are living a great lifestyle.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to see.
That's awesome. What would you tell somebody trying to get into real estate today?
I would say have clear expectations. With new agents, it can be a little bit scary at first, but I would say it's all about people. It's all about chemistry. So finding the right fit for you, where you can be in a place that's going to pour into you. In real estate, not only from like when individual agents, like it's such a numbers, just how we were talking, it's a numbers game, and it's an ego game, if that makes sense. And with social media, if you're on social media and you're looking at other real estate agents, other realtors, you can be completely, I guess, bamboozled by what you see on social media, because it's a perception marketing game at this point. someone it's the perception of that they're super successful and they're selling all these houses and it's really easy. And that's what people show. And they're in the luxury market. They're right out of school and they're selling luxury homes. And so as an agent, you can buy into it just like anything else on social media. Like, I see it, it must be true. Not true. And then I think it can make a lot of people burn out. Like, I'll never get there. I'll never do that. So kind of like you were saying, like, don't be married to the outcome. Trust the process. Because at the end of the day, the process is what it is. There is a formula to be successful in real estate. The hard part is doing it. So it's not that it's not doable. Thousands of agents do it. They have a great income. They have a great lifestyle that they've provided for themselves, but you just have to trust the process and do the formula.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I get. Well, they're always looking for like that magic pill or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, it hasn't changed since I started real estate 23 years ago. I don't expect it to change unless, AI, of course, gets
Right.
involved. That's a different topic.
Yeah.
But starting out today, like if you're starting out today, is just trust the process and you just got to do the work and be prepared that, you might not see the fruition of your work for 6 months, but that's okay and that's normal. So
That's awesome. Another question totally just left my head.
it's okay. I get things in and out of this head
It just went
all the time.
like literally just I started having
It was a good one. I bet it was so good, too. Isn't
It
that
was a great
frustrating?
question. Well, so tell me about InstaSold.
Yeah.
Is that just tell me about InstaSold.
Yeah. So when we started our team, as I was telling you, like 2017, I want to say, we were the Schude group. And guess where we got that name? And so we started hiring agents. And throughout this business, and especially now with the brokerage, we're constantly thinking, like, what if it were me? What if it were me joining a team? And we thought, well, Schude Group, I don't know that I want to say, oh, I work with it at the Schude Group, because it's not my last name. Like, what do they care about our last name?
Yeah.
And so we were already thinking of rebranding pretty quickly after we started the Schude Group. And then all these, like, iBuyers came out, like OfferPad, Open Door, and they're more techie. And so we were already starting to think of a name. Like, how do we sound like one of these, like, big corporations? And another thing is we would go into a listing appointment and people would say, oh, I already got an offer from OfferPad or one of those things. But as an agent, we can actually represent a seller in that transaction.
Oh, okay.
So meaning, when you go right to OfferPad or Open Door or whatnot, or one of those other companies for an offer without us, then we can't represent you. So this way we're trying to say, like, if you hire InstaSold, yes, we can instantly sell your house because we can get offers not only from those iBuyer companies, but from our network of agents who buy homes or investors or any of those people. So we wanted to show up at a listing appointment and go give you all the options. We wanted to be that one stop. So we're going to give you, 3, 4, 5 different cash offers so we can instantly sell your house. Or if that doesn't work, guess what? We have tons of experience in the residential resale market, kind of that traditional sale. So let's talk about your options. So we wanted to be that kind of that one-stop shop, but also, help them through. And we're like, hey, by the way, this company, this is what they're known for. And yes, they're offering you this, but just so you know, they're probably going to come back about 6% less. So let's take that off the top. Oh, okay. So, even though you're going with a company, like, we think that we really value the service that we provide. We think everyone deserves representation. So that's really where the name InstaSold came from. And it's been really great because then it kind of helped our phone ring with, like, Google and all of that, because they're like, what's InstaSold?
Yeah.
So, we never had someone say, oh, like, what's Keller Williams? What's this? Well, everybody knows, right? It's a brokerage. Right. So it was kind of a neat thing to get our phone to ring, and it's kind of catchy. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so that's how we had started it. And then it really felt more like a brokerage. We were coming from a place of a team, but then I thought, I really want to be in charge of, like, the culture at the brokerage. Like, I really want to be a place and create community with agents, just how we were talking, like, I want to pour into people. I want to love on agents because I had such a hard time. Lots of tears, lots of stress, all of that thing. And I think if I really had someone, kind of like a mentor, just somewhere to go and just have that support. And then being a broker, obviously, like, I can help field questions, and always had those times when something was going awry in a transaction. I needed to talk to someone, but maybe someone wasn't there right away. I was actually, like, super blessed with some great brokers over the years. And so I kind of wanted to take everything, like, I liked kind of how you were saying, like, I liked from that broker and implement that into how I run things in this broker and how I run it, those things. So then I thought, you know what, let's do it. And knowing that, I think we were talking a little bit before of, a lot of people like don't like the team structure because as an agent, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make more money, right? It's a different type of headspace in the real estate market. And so a lot of people maybe will do the team and hear about it all the time and they're like, I'm tired of babysitting. Like, I'm just going to go out there and I just want to answer to myself. I'm going to do my own thing. Same thing with brokerages. So a lot of people were like, what are you doing that for? Like, are you crazy? Which I get, and I could see how, because it's expensive, right? It's expensive to run a brokerage, and you have a lot more pressure on you to keep the doors open and a lot more overhead. But it was something that I thought, I really think we can just do a good job, and my heart's in the right place, and our brains, I feel like, are in the right place. So,
nice.
Yeah, so we're going to do it ourselves.
What's your vision? Where do you want to go with it?
So right now we are at like 12 agents.
Okay.
So our goal is to be at 75 agents by the end of June. And then another thing that we're trying to do is we want to support agents like if they have their own team, like we want to support them in their branding because that was always important to us. Like whatever brokerage we were at, we didn't really care about promoting that brokerage. We cared about promoting our own brand.
Gotcha.
And so we have that. We want to support people. And that's kind of what I was saying, like that's Mike's wheelhouse is the marketing and the creativity. And so we want to support those agents, but we also want to support agents who are solo agents and maybe just starting off are like, you know what, I just want a plug and play model. I want a listing presentation. I want signs. I want business cards, all of that stuff. But we've got all that designed. So you literally can just like, here you go, like off and running, which is, for me, that's probably what I would have done if I was just a solo agent. It's just had that all laid out for me. And then having those templates, I would love to someday like franchise the brand and then go to other states is one thing. And then we've talked about like property management and just kind of all facets of real estate. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Sounds exciting. And Mike's on board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, yes, I think so. Last we talked.
That's good. That's awesome.
No.
Anything else we should know about and Schude?
And Schude.
And Schude.
That was almost like English or Irish. I like that better. I'm going to start saying that. No, I feel like this was a lot.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing about me is I always said my dream job. And I was like, if I could only get paid for like being nice and loving on other people, like that would be my dream job. And I never, volunteering.
Yeah.
Like always loved to volunteer. I probably would be a career volunteerer. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that, because I feel like when you are a volunteer, like that's your definition, right? You're doing something for the greater good and you're loving on other people. I had probably one of the best compliments I got is one of our old owners of one of the brokerages or whatnot. He was talking, he was in some meeting or we were in a meeting and he said something like, it's not like anyone wakes up in the morning. Who can I love on today? And then he looks and he goes, well, unless you're Ann Schude, of course. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That's
like,
awesome.
Because that's how I feel, but you don't know if other people feel that way. Yeah. So that probably at the end of the day. And so it's kind of figuring that out. And I feel like on the brokerage level, that's something that I can do. So as we grow, if I can, just make other people happy. And that was like a favorite quote of mine. P.T. Barnum, who said, the greatest art is that of making others happy.
Yeah.
And I thought that's really something that I try to do every single day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I enjoy getting to know you better.
Oh, good.
And I've enjoyed knowing you a little bit over the years, from distance. But it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast.
It was so
fun. I really
fun.
enjoyed it and getting to know you better. And where can people find you?
So many places. No. So we are on, let's see, instasold.com is a website for the real estate. Go Gilbert. You can always message me on Facebook. Cell phone. Do you want my cell phone number?
If you want to give it. Yeah, I don't know where it's going to go. But
yeah, well, it's all over the internet.
Okay.
But yeah, just Google Ann Schude at 480-201-3581. Text, always available for questions, honestly, about anything. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was super fun. This is Ann Schude, and I went above and beyond.
work, we truly thrive.
Like, share, and subscribe to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. Elevate your mindset, one episode at a time.